What is happening, traders? New week is about to begin, so let's completely take a look at these price actions happening on BTC, Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, and some Polkadot as well. Now, congrats to everybody who held on to Polkadot all the way until 40. We hit $40 Polkadot yesterday. I've been screaming and shouting about Polkadot going to $40 pretty soon, and it actually happened pretty soon in a vertical fashion. Not exactly vertical, but accumulative breakout, accumulative breakout. So all the time Polkadot was simply getting reaccumulated when it was topping, right? Anyways, that's just a simple ramble, and I'll talk about Polkadot pretty soon. But let's jump into Mr. BTC, the landlord right here now. Right off, it's just funny to look at this price action. It's just up and away. This means supply shock, guys, for Bitcoin. This is what supply shock looks like. Okay, just watch this price action pretty carefully. Watch how it simply went from 10,000 to 50,000 and still trending 60,000 and just still trending. And this is exactly how supply shock looks like. What do I mean by supply shock? Not much Bitcoin in the market, but extremely humongous amount of demand going on. Everybody looking for Bitcoin. Grayscale investment scaling in on Bitcoin. Tesla buying Bitcoin. Everybody, institutions buying Bitcoin. How the hell is Bitcoin at 60,000 if the institutions don't have any demand, right? So huge, humongous demand, but the supply keeps on running out. Miners are not able to mine these many amount of Bitcoin. So this is why this price action. Anyway, that was a fundamental ramble for you guys for BTC, for the landlord right here. But ever since we broke above this grind, leaving this reaccumulation range from 30,000 to 40,000 regions, we have been simply trending to the upside now. 3-day time frame, as far as these candles are looking something like this, it's in trend on mode, and it's probably in explosion mode right now, since we are leaving this particular, well, the indicator right here I'm using is 350 DMA on BTC. It's basically a combination of moving averages and Fibonacci projections right to the upside, and this is pretty much helpful in terms of determining our ranges and how the prices could actually behave among these key levels of significance. In fact, so now since Bitcoin is constantly in an in a pretty much melt up phase, there is not much to talk about the macro, as we have not even formulated any macro divergence. So as I was talking about how divergence actually do play out in macro trends are like, you got to be if the RSI maintains above the 60 most of the times on macro time frame closes like 3-day, prices are simply going to melt to the upside. That's simply just going to float. In fact, I mean, I'm not getting a good word to use right here, but yeah, prices are simply going to float if we are maintaining this RSI at the point being right here, RSI above 60. So yes, you did have a crazy amount of hidden bullish divergence on macro time frame between this point and this point, coming in at 17,000 and 30,000. So hence the continuation right now, melt up continuation going on. So now try to understand the mechanics of the price action and the technical analysis, and how you can actually determine things and not be confused about it, and not ask questions like why is it trending up, why is it only going up, why the hell is it happening. It's happening because of few technical indications, right? So one being this one, and you're looking at simple melt up phase to the upside. Now let's simply jump onto the daily and let's see what is happening now. Ever since we broke above this wedge with the bullish engulf, now this one being a volatile, yesterday being actually a volatile move for BTC as well, this candle being rejecting price to the upside and the downside at the same time together, whereas the RSI was simply in trend mode. Nothing completely wrong with the trend. And well, this right here is historical volatility, and historical volatility on daily time frame has started contracting. So now this means that as far as we are contracting on the volatility, we could simply head to the upside. Now this could be a low volatile grind to the upside all the way to 100k, guys. Not a far-fetched thing. Now Bitcoin is at 60k. We are just about to reach 6 figures, guys. If you are coming from bear market all the way here around 5,000 4,000 and you've been accumulating BTC all of in basically in this entire range, then kudos to you, man. I mean, pretty much amazing. I've been doing the same. And well, if you turn the logarithmic charts away, this is what Bitcoin is doing, guys. I mean, remember the time when it was trading right here? This used to look pretty humongous. Now this is what Bitcoin is doing, guys. I mean, this is kind of insane, and I simply get lost in these rambles, so I'll try not to do that anymore for this video. On the 4-hour time frame, yesterday this candle right here was a simple retest of the 21 simple moving average, if you look at it carefully, because this one was a 6% down move. Now 6% down move in BTC means 12% down move in Ethereum, and maybe 15 to 20% down move in other assets as well, and maybe 90% down move in extremely pure shitcoins, right? So BTC was very, very volatile yesterday, and 6% move is not really volatile, but these ranges are humongous, guys. I mean, rejecting 57, coming back down all the way to 54,000, huge $3,000 candle on 4-hour schedule. So Ethereum was certainly volatile as well back then, but we're completely fine as far as we are trending above the 21 simple on the 4-hour time frame as well. Now, if you start seeing any closure below 54,000 level, now 54,000 was retested. This was a breakout. 54,000 was a retest. As simple as that. If you lose 54,000, then the trend goes into jeopardy. On a closing basis, guys, the candle closing below 54,000 on 4-hour schedule is going to be trend under jeopardy for BTC. If BTC's trend is under jeopardy, then that means most of the market is going to behave like however Bitcoin is doing, right? Let's simply jump on to the dominance as well. As let's see what dominance is actually doing now. Not being really strengthful now in the macro. Don't get me wrong, this area is key area of significance, guys. I'll simply try to turn these things off, as it's taking up a lot of screen estate. Anyway, all right, this area right here is supposed to be acting like a good support confluence coming in from most of the major dumps and pumps to the upside for the dominance on the 3-day schedule itself. So this one being right here, the dominance is supposed to pick up from these points, and what you could be looking at is dominance grinding against this diagonal trending support and holding this support for good, which would mean that BTC could continue its melt up phase to the upside. So now that would mean that if the dominance is shaping up to be bullish and it does something like this, closes above the 3-day 21 simple moving average and starts trending to the upside, curling to the upside, now that would mean that you're better off holding spot BTC rather than going for some altcoin, because most of the altcoins are going to bleed into Bitcoin if the dominance simply starts moving to the upside from these points. Let's check out how the weekly is going to be closing now. Weekly is going to be closing again below the 21 simple moving average. So as far as you're closing weekly candles below the 21 simple moving average, holding on to alts is going to be okay. It's not going to be a bad decision, but as far as this is the trend control bearer right here for most of the altcoins, to be honest with you. This line will tell you what your shitcoin is probably going to do, right? So as far as you're closing below it, it's completely fine. If you start closing weekly candles above the dominance at 64.10, then your trend might start changing, and then your altcoins could get into jeopardy. All right, so you have to break the 21 simple on weekly schedule and close above this trend line as well for a double confirmation kind of situation where you can be more confident holding Bitcoin simply. That would pay you off in a very nice way, in a better way. The opportunity cost, that would be a better opportunity cost for you, your time and your money. That's it. All right, let's simply jump on to Ethereum against USDT and let's see what is going on. Got a lot of alerts right here. What are they doing? We have already left the range, guys. I mean, they should be deleted right off. There's no point. If you do come to the downside, I think I do need an indicator right here at 1600 zones. If you lose the 1600 zones on the weekly schedule, it's going to be, it's probably going to be a retest back down to the 21 simple moving average, which is moving by $100 every closure, right? So this closure happened at 1020. Next closure could happen at 1150 to 1120, right? So that would be your next support for the weekly schedule. And as far as we're closing candles like this, there's simply no point for any downside, to be honest with you. 3-day time frame also looking pretty amazing. The last 3-day candle, it closed bullish again, guys. It simply closed green again, and like I've been mentioning, ever since this bullish engulf right here, in fact ever since these bullish engulfs right here, as far as we are maintaining the RSI above the 30 read. Where is the RSI at? Yep. As far as the RSI is actually maintaining the 60 read to the upside, and we are not closing any 3-day candles below the 60 read, you can simply constantly melt to the upside. You can simply trend to the upside like this in a slow, non-volatile fashion. And you would feel in the short-term time frames that this might be the top. This is the top. Okay, it's going to dump. It would probably not happen because the macro RSI is extremely bullish, right? Look at this strong RSI read right here. So this means that Ethereum is simply going to melt to the upside, guys. Don't be a bear here. It's completely no point doing that. Let's jump onto the extremely small time frames and let's see what happened right here. Now this one, yeah, as I was saying, if BTC is volatile by 6%, Ethereum is going to be volatile by 12%. This is exactly what happened right here. So Ethereum was volatile by like it was multiple, it was 2x volatile than BTC yesterday. So that's why the prices came all the way down at 1800, and we never closed any candle on those regions. In fact, we got picked up pretty immensely. We got picked up with good price action right here, and then we are continuing to the upside. Now what can you expect in the coming days? You can simply expect this. You can simply expect this grind to be one of the key resistance zone, and as far as we are below it, it's going to be trending to the downside. Now if we break this one, your simple targets for 2250 and 2400 and so on and so forth, they will be back up again. Now let's check out if this was a retest of the previous trend. Yes, this was a perfect retest right here. So now you can start managing your Ethereum risks below 1800 levels. Ethereum closing any 4-hour, 12-hour, any higher time frame closure below the 1800 region on Ethereum would mean that the trend is probably going to get into jeopardy, and you can build a solid bearish case right here as well. Now I'll talk about it as to why you can say this, why you can say that this could be a pretty strong bearish case, is because you've been having divergence coming in from all of, from this point right here, and diverging between this point and this point. Now this point creating divergences against all the way until this point right here. Well, not exactly a divergence right here, but creating, you get the point. You get the point that the strength is kind of getting squeezed out, it's getting washed out. So you can certainly create a bearish case if you lose the $1800 on 12-hour schedule. Then you can talk about further downside moves coming in at all the way around 1500 USD at first, and then you can talk about the weekly 21 simple moving average being retested, because we've never really retested it ever since we left this accumulation range at $316 per Ethereum. We never retested the weekly 21 simple. So be aware of this level, be cautious about this level. If prices come to this level, it's going to be a major massive macro opportunity of buying interest, right? So don't get washed out if you're going in on markets on leveraged on Ethereum, because it can come down all the way here. Order books are getting thin and thin. Now something which I have to talk about as to why I'm warning you guys on this one is because of the Ethereum USD on FTX on the small time frames. I'll show you guys what happened yesterday. Do you see this? You see this scam wick right here? It's not exactly a scam wick. It happens only because of there's not much orders in the order book, so prices can simply float to the upside because there are simply no orders. Anybody bidding, anybody asking about on 2150 levels got filled because there was simply no bid and asks on these levels. So yeah, the prices simply floated to the upside and then came down. I think this would be pretty much clear if we look in the extreme small time frames. No, it's not clear here as well. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened here. It's just pretty just be careful of these things. This is one of the reminder why leverage plays are not really helpful in these kind of environments, guys. I mean, I don't want to ramble and rant about it again and again, but yeah, leverage plays are not going to help you out much, because this can happen anytime on BTC as well. If the balance on exchanges, they dry up crazy, you're going to be looking at something like this on BTC exchanges, right? So well, let me just simply conclude as to where Ethereum might be headed for the coming week. The first and foremost thing is going to be the bias. The bias for the coming week is certainly going to be bullish. Any weekly backfill at $1800 is going to be probably a buying opportunity. Well, all the way around 1850 as well. So 1850 to 1800 is most likely going to be a buying opportunity. So watch for prices being picked up in these zones. If you are not getting picked up on 1800, then that means that we could be getting into a consolidation kind of phase, coming in at coming to test around $1400 levels and ultimately down to 1234, right? Okay, 3-day time frame, 21 simple moving average aligning with the 1400 level as well. So you could certainly come here if you break below the 1600 the 1800 level. So 1800 is significant for the coming week. Watch for 1800 level to hold. If Ethereum is breaking below 1800, then that would mean trend is going to be going under jeopardy, and there is going to be probably some sideways to downside price action following up. That means that the DeFi space as a whole will also try to consolidate and go down. Alright, let's just simply jump into Mr. Laggard for the market, Litecoin. Not really a laggard anymore, or you can actually call it, because it's not as exponential as Bitcoin and Ethereum, but well, the current trend is simply strong looking. It's good looking trend right here in front of you guys. Now this candle being a little confusion candle, but not problematic at all. Not much volume coming in from the sell side, so not much sell pressure on Litecoin as well. As far as you're maintaining a structure above the $184 level, it's completely fine to stay investment long or spot holdings on Litecoin. Well, even if you manage a risk properly in a leverage play here for Litecoin, you can start managing a risk below 185. I personally feel that 185 is a good area of risk management for Litecoin. If you lose 185 to the downside, you could come and test these levels of liquidity around 120. The 21 simple moving average would also be one of the key important tests for Litecoin at 165, but if you break that, you come down to 122. Now 122 would be far-fetched thing to the downside. As far as BTC is on trend and a melt up more to the upside, these prices are just the downside prices are just far-fetched. Now something like something like a scam wick could happen, so all the bid and ask could get filled in one single fucking hour. Now that would be that could happen where the liquidity would be extremely low on exchanges. So then that thing could play out. But I think in the macro, on an opening and closing basis, as far as you're maintaining this 3-day structure to the upside in a pretty beautiful fashion right here, you're going to be fine on Litecoin. Litecoin is going to be completely fine trending to the upside, and there's not going to be much problem holding Litecoin as well. Now, let's check out the weekly. Now, weekly being a wow, this is a picture perfect retest of the closure above the resistance right here. Now, you want to be closing weekly like this on these levels, and you are certainly going to be looking amazing for the coming week. Now, any weekly price action coming, any price action for the next week coming to 210, 213 levels would probably be a buying opportunity for Litecoin as well. And then we can start talking about these prices around $315, $330 on LTC USD pair. Now let's check out where the big time frame targets are at. Mr. Poloniex. So Poloniex as an exchange has the most amount of history, and ever since we broke above this squeeze right here, you've been trending to the upside on Litecoin. This is a macro squeeze breakout to the upside. So macro trend continuation is the name of the game for Litecoin right here, and your simple upside targets are going to be at all-time high around 381 USD. Not a far-fetched opinion, not a far-fetched price action as well from these levels, as we have covered most of the distance coming in from $60 Litecoin. We are currently at a 4x, right? So it's not really far, this all-time high right here. Now you could be talking about some further upside moves on Litecoin. If you're able to successfully close a few weekly candles above the previous all-time high, then you could be looking at 1.618 at 596, 2.618 at 950, and ultimately the 10.764 for the macro, for the extremely long cycle target for Litecoin could be at 10.764, which is at $3,800. Now that's going to be your macro target, and let's not get there right off, because it's a pretty far-fetched opinion, and it will take a lot of time for the prices to reach onto those levels. Now let's check on these moving averages, these magical Fibonacci moving averages, and what they're telling us that you're simply in a trend motion. You're trending to the upside in a very nice fashion right here. And well, the previous two daily candles were kind of a confusion induced candle, so watch for this structure to hold. In fact, this structure also being one of the important, and if you start closing candles below it, if you basically start closing candles below the $210 region as well, then you are in for a retest of 185, as I was talking about on 3-day schedule and a weekly schedule as well. As far as you're maintaining like this and you're closing your weekly candle on these levels, it's completely going to be fine. It will probably come back and retest the $213 levels, but ultimately head to the upside, guys. Litecoin not looking weak in any angle on the USD pair, but on the BTC pair, certainly not a good looking chart for sure. All right, let's simply move on to some Cardanos. Well, this one being extremely strengthful to the upside. Now yesterday's candle was a pretty nice bullish engulfing candle, closing above the previous highs as well. Now this one turning out to be a good reaccumulation and a breakout above this line as well, and you can see how perfectly this one is working, right? I mean, it's pretty amusing to see this actually. Okay, you're all set for a retest of the prior all-time high. Let's just see if we have any data for that. Yeah, you're there. You're almost there. You're almost there at the previous all-time high at 1.4, and you've covered the Cardano being crazy maniac coming in from October all the way at this particular point, moving about 1600% to the upside. Now this is what your normal chart looks like. Wow, holy shit. This right here was a macro accumulation right here, and you can certainly expect Cardano to leave these ranges coming in from previous all-time highs as well, and then this structure could look like this. I don't know if that happens, if and when it happens, but certainty of this thing happening, certainly. Ethereum, Cardano is one of the hedges against Ethereum because fundamental aspects, they align towards those facts. And if Ethereum has done something like this, so has Cardano, and so will Neo, so will ICX. So watch out on these coins as well, as they also do have amazing amount of upside ROI remaining. Not much to talk about on Cardano. As far as we are maintaining these levels around $1 to the upside, you're completely fine holding on, and holding on for a possible retest of this prior all-time high coming in at this week itself, because the weekly candle is going to be certainly damn bullish. This candle right here is humongous. It's a humongous fucking candle right here, guys. A 66% weekly candle, so you're certainly in for some little treat, and you would be closing this candle right here above the previous all-time high closure. So now watch for $1 to actually hold, because this could possibly happen the next week. We could come back here and test the 0.98, basically a dollar level region, for the breakout retest right here, and then we can close the candle finally above it, and then we would have an opening and a closing above the all-time highs closures, right? So then that would mean the Cardano against US dollar trend is going to be strengthening even further to the upside, and then you can talk about $2 Cardano, right? Won't that be amazing, guys? Coming in from 2 cents going all the way at $2, 100x, guys. So pretty amazing on Cardano. And this is trend on, this is trend under motion, and as far as we are printing candles like this on small time frames as well, we are completely fine. Watch for this level to hold. Watch for this bullish engulf candle to hold for the test of the previous all-time highs, and possible further targets at $2, right? Things looking pretty neat for Cardano as well. Let's simply jump on to Mr. Polkadot now. So Polkadot hitting the $40 target with all the pride and all the fucking craziness. Like, I remember when the prices actually started trending in this motion. This range right here was a crazy accumulation range. Now watch this carefully, guys, as Cardano had similar kind of price action coming in all throughout the range, but Polkadot never Polkadot does not have this history right here on the left side. That's why. But this price action right here is long form of accumulation. This is good piece of price action. Price is going sideways for this amount of time and ultimately breaking to the upside means that there is immense amount of volume to be coming in, and the prices will probably skyrocket for the coming weeks and the months. And this was one of the clear indicators as to Polkadot is probably going to do something amazing after the breakout of this range and the retest of the prior all-time high. You simply melt it to the upside, guys. This is not even the logarithmic scale. Now let's check the logarithmic scale for a little level-headed kind of analysis, right? As I started screaming about Polkadot going to $40 level regions right from these points, as I was very stringent about the fact that this is a possible reaccumulation, and as far as we are holding $14 to $15 ranges, possibly going to go towards $40 to $45 ranges, and now we are there, guys. We are simply there, and this range broke out around 3rd of February, almost not even a month, guys. 15 days, 2 weeks down the line, we are there at $40, and this was one of the fun trades to be had. I am out of all of my Polkadot positions and spot exposure as well. Now I certainly could miss out on further moves to the upside for all the way around $100, but most of the profits on Polkadot have been taken, at least on my end, and let's see how it behaves. Okay, to be fair, on a moving average perspective, this was simply not anything to be like taking profit off of, because it is a simple trend under motion even on the 4-hour schedule as well. So if you're holding Polkadot since these levels, or maybe these levels as well, you're completely fine holding it. As far as you're maintaining the 10-hour structure as well, guys, a little aggressive, I think. Okay, let's see the 12-hour. Yeah. Wow, I choked on my own saliva, guys. Sorry about that. And the 12-hour time frame is also maintaining the strong trend to the upside, and the 21 simple moving average being a support, taking the prices all the way at $40 levels. Looking nice, looking pretty neat, Mr. Polkadot. And as far as you're maintaining the 21 simple on the 12-hour time frame, you're completely fine holding Polkadot. If you start losing these levels, if you start losing this low right here, which is at $30, yet again core 5, not really far-fetched, 25% down move. If you start closing candles below $30 regions, then you could be talking about a retest of this prior accumulation ranges around 18 to 20. Now for this to happen, lot has to happen on Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin holding above 50,000 means that Polka could simply trend its way to 50, 60, even $100, right? This is a strong looking trend right here, nothing to be bearish about. And the 3-day is also holding up to most of the things. And let's simply check out Polkadot against Ethereum. ETH dot ETH. Okay. Yes, it's continuing, and and ever since we've actually broken above this point, you've seen how accelerated Polkadot has been to the upside against Ethereum as well. So better returns on Polkadot than Ethereum, and I sold a portion of my spot holdings on Ethereum on into Polkadot as soon as I saw this candle breaking out of the range which was set up right here. And I did have a little down move, but I was completely fine holding it because we were kind of doing something different. And these bullish engulf candle and this consolidation right here means that well, you're in for some treat. It's better off holding Polkadot than Ethereum. Still, to be honest with you, it's still better off holding Polkadot than Ethereum. As far as we're making weekly candles like this and 3D, this is 3-day candle. Let's jump onto the weekly time frame and let's see how the candle is going to be closing. This is good looking price action right here. Weekly is going to be closing above 70 read. It's well above 60. We closed above 60. Now we're going to close above 70. So Polka against Ethereum is also going to continue to the upside, and we can look at some further humongous upside for Polkadot, to be honest with you guys. Dot against BTC also looking neat. We are breaking this flag on dot against Bitcoin as well, guys. Bitcoin is trending, and dot against Bitcoin is also trending. Dot against Ethereum is also trending. So I think there's another parabolic move to come out of dot, I guess. I mean, I think I prematurely ejaculated out of the market on Mr. Polkadot, but yeah, looks for some further continuation. I think, yeah, this is certainly on the cards. Polkadot could certainly keep on trending to the upside, guys. So if you're holding your dot positions, you're completely fine holding it. Even on the extreme small time frames, I was constantly talking about this diagonal trending support now proving itself out, to be honest. Looking pretty nice and neat. This one being an inverse head and shoulder, continuing. Like most of the patterns under formulation for Mr. Polkadot has been continuation moves, reaccumulation, continuation most of the times, and there is no signs of any breakdown or structural weakness, to be honest. So well, most of the things are completely fine with Polkadot, and I think it's a better hodl play for the long term as well. Now guys, I think this has been pretty much the entire comprehensive outlook on most of the majors, and I hope you have a little more clarity as to like how you would want to be trading the coming week. Most of the things are looking bullish. Bitcoin's weekly candle is also looking bullish, so your bias is supposed to be set for bullish moves. And you can certainly look at some of the assets consolidating, going sideways, but mostly you're going to be looking at some bullish price action the following week. All right, guys, that's been it. That's been my time, and I hope to catch you guys on the next one pretty soon. Bye for now.